Hi everybody, Mature Simmer here. So welcome back to Lawn Mowing Simulator as I continue with Lawn Demons here. Starting up a brand new week, Monday, April 12th, 2021, as you can see. Big news from last week, once we wrapped it up, was that we paid off the loan that we've had for a little while, that we used to expand our business and get another lawnmower and be able to bring on our first employee. So all of that 3,284 pounds is ours. So all that's going to be leaning on that is just the general expenses that are used with running the business. So let's hop in. Alright, so this one, gardens, this is new, but this looks really difficult. It's super long, needs to be down, super short, overgrown. And so they tried some eco-friendly lawn feed but forgot to dilute it. The garden is now wild. With the grass being so long, a slow cutter multiple passes will be required. So I am going to let my employee handle this, just because I have that ability as a company owner. And I'm going to go ahead and take the rear garden here, which is a little bit simpler. Well, a lot simpler, I know that. So we are good with that, and we will jump in here. So we've been here before. It's kind of the norm in this sim a bit. I've seen as, you know, we get a few new things, but that new one just too difficult for what I kind of want to deal with today. I know that would turn into an hour plus of work for me, so we'll let our employee handle that, and we'll just kind of keep taking some easier jobs. Question here is, again, oh, I already completed, never mind. Return to vehicle. I'm like, sometimes it's hard to find all the items. It's especially hard to find any more items when you found them all. So, any event, here we are. We're going to get in our vehicle. Get started. We're going to get our throttle up. And we're going to get moving. So, biggest challenge is always the camera. So, I think the strategy I'm going to employ here, which is not what I did before, is I'm going to go ahead and run a couple edges up because of the wall, because there's not much room to maneuver along these walls here, and give myself some room. And I think I'm going to do 3 passes. I think 2's going to be a little bit tight. So we'll get the deck lowered. Oh, speaking of, I need to get this down to the height that they want. Otherwise, that would be bad. The good news is, it looks like I can go full speed, and this grass is not gumming me up or anything, so that is great. And so we are already 1.6. You know, but what I didn't do before was I kind of was just running around, and some of it was because it's like, well, I want to stay on cruise control, and that's easier to do, and so I would kind of run out and then go down, and any kind of collisions or anything cost you some money, so you obviously want to avoid that. Sounds like we've got a church nearby. You can hear the bells in the background. Well, at least I can. I'm not sure how well they come across on the recording, but hopefully they come across pretty well. But yeah, we'll do the. Whoop! I did hit another. I did get choked up at one point. That had not happened until now, so I will go ahead and at least take advantage of the trip down to the edge and go ahead and cut here. So yeah, it's odd because it seemed to be going pretty well and it wasn't getting stuck, but and that shouldn't really be any kind of damage or anything, because it's not like I was spinning my wheels or anything, but obviously it slowed things down. But we're already at 10%, so you know, it's nice to have simpler jobs like this, and I would think to make good progress, like honestly, that really is probably a good strategy to go ahead and, you know, give your employee the hard job, especially now that she's fully trained and an expert. So she's easily as good as me, if not better, at this point. And so as far as doing a job well, that should be something that won't really push her too much, I would hope. But we're going to obviously be over 15% done already. But the nice thing is, like, unlike, you know, the other job we had last time was at that larger movie star home, and it was a simpler lawn, certainly, than I've done in a while, but it still had the outer walls. And here, because we've got the inside path and the gardens, the benefit we get is, you know, we just have an open square of lawn, so it's a lot more like cutting lawns in the US, where you're not necessarily always dealing with fences. It might just be, hey, drive around and do whatever. But the other thing I'm going to do differently, because I was in crews last time, and then I would come out and then, you know, loop around 2 or 3 rows over, I think that had to have taken longer. I'm thinking this will be a much more efficient way, even though it's taking some time to go ahead and do things on each end. You know, I'm taking 10-15 seconds. You know, maybe it's not quite that long, but it takes a little while to turn around where I'm not mowing. But overall, you know, I think this is just a lot better. And then especially as we get toward the end, I'm not like running over the whole lawn looking for things to cut, because I've done the majority of things. So in any event, this is how, like, if this was really my lawn and I was cutting it, or I really had this job in reality, this is how I would cut it, because I think it would just be cleaner. You know, and the one thing obviously I got to be careful of is not trying to maximize the cut so much that I miss pieces and then I'm going to have to come back, because in the end you usually have to have pretty good coverage to get to the point where it gives you credit for being done. But this is certainly a job that should not require any kind of strimmer work. I should just be able to do this all with the lawnmower. So I'm hoping, you know, 60-70% by the time I get to the wall at the pace this is going. Especially given that I've, you know, cut those edges, and those gave me 14-15%, because again, I also was at like 15, but I had done that bottom row, which obviously we can see each row's adding like 1.5% or something. But we're already at 30%, so I'd say that's quite good, honestly. 6 minutes in. I didn't see what the estimated time was on this, if it's something crazy like 10 or 15 minutes. It may be, because I think when I was mowing, I did mow with this lawnmower as well, and this is the smallest deck, so it's obviously going to take more passes and so forth. So it's possible that they were expecting a bigger deck, which obviously would get us through. But the challenge we've got is, you know, those bigger lawnmowers are tens of thousands of pounds here, and it's just going to take a good amount of work. The benefit is, once again, we're not making loan payments, we're not doing anything like that, so between these two jobs, you know, 700-800 pounds, I'm imagining, is what we'll walk away with. There's obviously going to be the general repair after each work day that we have to go through that's going to take some of those funds away, and obviously Ellie gets paid, so, you know, it may be a little bit lower, but the benefit here is this doesn't turn into an exceptionally long work period, which is actually honestly nice sometimes. It's one thing if I want a challenge or I just want to experience a different yard, but sometimes just going back to the simple things, because even that horse pasture, which was also kind of a big square, it had a lot more obstacles in it that we had to deal with. So, you know, just a straight rectangle or square of grass that I just go back and forth on and mow, it's hard to beat. Alright, not quite 45%, but not doing too badly here. Again, don't want to cut it so small that I leave a little line of grass behind me that I'm going to have to come back and deal with later. Alright, so now we are at 45. I don't think there and back will get us there. It might be close, might be closer than I think, but it might also not be. So that pretty much covers every scenario, but just not sure. But yeah, we've just barely got past 47. We need 2.7%, and we're not getting that kind of progress with one pass across the yard here. But I'm thinking it's just going to take one more pass to get to 50%. Yeah, I would say definitely. But now that I see where I'm at, maybe we get to 60% before the wall comes into play. But I don't think 70's in the cards. So, you know, we could obviously, like, similar to Farming Simulator, like if I was mowing a field and then, you know, working on it to turn it into hay, we have GPS in there, which would let us really maximize our width, where here I'm kind of visually keeping some because I don't want to cut back. And that may in the end result in 1-2 more passes that I need to take, that if I had a GPS that snapped me to the exact width and I was not wasting any kind of overlap, you know, maybe that would save 1 or 2 passes. But in the end, this isn't that difficult. We're, you know, finally at 10 minutes. I don't know why I almost turned earlier. I'm like, oh, I'm done with the cut area, but optical illusion for sure. Alright. We're close to the wall, but technically not quite there yet. But what I don't want to do is try to maximize the width so much that I leave some little line on the ground. Alright, so getting close, but we hit 60%, and I would say this is more the pass that really gets us to the wall, but we're certainly skirting around in the vicinity of the wall right now, and obviously that's a little bit of pressure. Alright. Oh, no, I missed some. I see it. I thought I did. It's getting a little challenging to see in my shadow, but we should be good there. Alright, but now it might be a little slower going on the turnarounds because of being able to maneuver, because again, a collision also takes things off. I lost like 26 pounds, almost 27 pounds on the collisions last job, which basically completely negated my speedy quick up bonus. So I learned my lesson there. I definitely want to be more careful, and that's part of the goal, I'm sure, of doing any job in a simulator or anywhere else, is over time with experience you learn and you adjust, because you can do certain things a little differently that you're like, oh, this will go faster. Kind of like me cutting this row by row, even though I have to back up, because I think there's a fallacy in, well, I'm not stopping, and so the other way has to be faster. But I definitely put more wear and tear on the machine doing that, because I'm going back and forth a lot, where, you know, that's not what I'm having to deal with here. I should be on a much more efficient path of using this. It is hard to see where the grass is with the light, and sometimes that light will do that. Alright, well, there are the bells again. It is 1300, so... well, no, never mind. It's time. I was looking at it as a clock. I'm like, man, that's moving really fast. But that's my timer. Alright, so... will we hit 75 at the end of this row? I guess we'll find out in a moment. 10 seconds or so, and that question will be answered. No, is the answer. Close. But yeah, I thought it would be a stretch, but sometimes it works. This time, not so much. Alright, but we are officially 3/4 of the way mowed. I'm thinking certainly before 20 minutes. So again, but I can't seem to be able to get to the pace that the sim suggests it should take me. I think some of that is, again, the equipment I have. A little bit of it certainly would be experience and maybe being a little more timid about how I'm proceeding and so forth, but you know, either way. But you know, if I have a wider deck, I have a 0-turn mower like that, I'm sure will be a totally different experience. I saw it get a little red for a split second there, so hopefully, again, we didn't leave too much, or more importantly, we didn't do any kind of damage. But so I guess you can see, you know, just like normal grass, it gets a little deeper here and there. Alright, 84, not quite 85. Doesn't seem like there's enough grass, so I'm hoping it'll work. But it doesn't seem like I have 15+% still on here, but I suppose going up and down 3 times on each side, which I think was also the shorter edge, you know, netted me about 15%, so maybe it'll work. I mean, obviously it's somewhere. If it doesn't, I'll have to spend some time looking around, but I think I've been pretty careful to not leave short lines overlapping, but wow, we're just barely over 90. It's not sitting well with me, I'll tell you that. Hit 92.5? We should. Yep, wow, even further, 93. So, a little close to the wall there, especially with the pillar, so I want to be a bit careful, because no collisions would be a good thing. Alright, we hit 95 somehow, almost 96, so it's like this part of the lawn is suddenly counting for more. I don't know, is it denser? Does it have more blades of grass? So I wouldn't be surprised if I'm at 97.5 over here, the way it's been going. Heck, we're almost at 98, pretty much guessing about as soon as I touch the grass, we'll cross that threshold. Now again, this is the last full pass, so let's keep that in mind, where everything else is a lot less. But, oh, there we go. So, turn it off, and we're done. 1708, not bad. Yeah, you don't really realize how fast the eco mower is until you've used it for several jobs, and now you're suddenly back here. I'm like, this is so slow getting back to the car, or to the trailer, but But yeah, happy that I was able to get that done. And I do think, you know, I don't know that I could easily find the previous instance of this, but I'm thinking this is substantially faster than I did it last time. Alright. So we'll exit there. And we will leave. Alright, so yes, no penalties. I think that's the first time. So I got the bonus, ground check time bonus, and the earnings. So that is good. And then Ellie, also no damage. So she was absolutely the right one to send there, but you can see no ground check bonus. It's interesting, it was $5.95. Why did she get paid less? Huh. That's odd, honestly. It's odd. I can't scroll up and down here, so I seem to be missing something, but in any event. Alright, so first things first, let's go fix our equipment. This was me. So 4 cents repair there, $4.82 for repairing the blade, and a good amount of fuel. And then we will head back and see how Ellie did. Holy moly, a lot of damage. So yeah, she cost a bit of money. So even with her expert skills, there's a bit of a challenge. Alright, so a bit short. Looks like today's gonna be rainy, Tuesday, April 13th. But, you know, getting close to 4,000 pounds. Continue to press on. Hope you'll continue following along. Definitely trying to get a little further along here in Lawn Mowing Simulator. Like I said, you know, I think of all the mowers pictured there, the only one I can actually get, you know, other than maybe the red one in the back as well. But that little yellow one, I think, was our first starting mower to begin with, so we obviously got rid of that to expand a bit. But the other two I can't afford, can't get to. I think they're both zero turn. Well, I guess the Toro would not be, but you know, but I don't have a striping mower yet. Like, there's things I haven't even gotten to. Probably a lot of things. We'll see. That's part of the fun of any of these games, is just seeing what experiences you can get out of them. So, yeah, if you've enjoyed this and not dropped a like, or you are not a subscriber, please consider those things, and I will see you next time.